You come home after 8 long hours. The second the door opens, your dog is already there. They're frantic, whining, practically vibrating with excitement, acting as if they haven't seen you in a lifetime. They just want your touch. But what do? You look the other way. You don't make eye contact. You take off your shoes and deliberately ignore them until they finally exhaust themselves and settle down quietly in the corner. It feels terrible to do, doesn't it? But you do it anyway, because for years, popular advice around separation anxiety has told you to ignore your dog when you walk through the door. You've been told not to reward the excitement and to keep your arrival completely neutral. The widely accepted logic was that a calm arrival trains a calm dog. It sounds incredibly rational, but in the world of behavioral neuroscience and animal cognition, this advice isn't just slightly flawed, it is dangerously entirely wrong. In 2021, a massive survey of nearly 2,000 dog owners was published, and it should have put this old training advice to rest forever. Trainers assumed that ignoring a dog would extinguish their anxiety, but the data revealed the exact opposite. Owners of dogs with separation problems actually reported using lower arousal greetings, meaning they intentionally kept things calm or ignored their dog when they came home. And the calmer the greeting, the worse the separation behavior became. The old training advice had the cause and effect exactly backwards. But why? Why does something that might calm a human push a dog deeper into a state of panic? The answer isn't just psychological, it is written in their neurochemistry. When your dog is waiting for you to come home, their stress system is highly active. They don't know your schedule, they only know you are gone. A 2014 study measured exactly what happens to a dog's hormones, specifically their oxytocin and cortisol levels during a reunion with their owner. Oxytocin is the neurochemical of love and bonding, the molecule that makes a nervous system feel safe. What the researchers found changes everything about how we should walk through our front doors. They discovered that physical contact combined with a verbal greeting was the only condition that kept oxytocin elevated in the dog's brain after the interaction ended. When you walk into your house, you have a very short window of time to give them that hormonal relief. When you stand there and deliberately ignore them, you are killing that oxytocin spike. You are leaving them alone in their own stress. We like to think that once we leave, our dogs eventually just get bored and go to sleep. But behavioral researchers have been leaving cameras running in empty houses for decades, and what they see is heartbreaking. In 2010, researchers at the University of Milan installed cameras in the homes of 23 dogs. They found that vocalization, barking, whining, and howling began at an average of just 3 minutes and 15 seconds after the owner departed. Destructive behavior started within 7 minutes. That is how fast the panic sets in. The Royal Veterinary College ran a longitudinal study tracking 145 dogs to see what actually predicts separation anxiety. They found that emotional, drawn-out goodbyes didn't cause it. Big hugs at the door had no significant effect. What actually mattered was the return. The study found that early use of punishment, such as telling the dog off or even deliberately ignoring them, significantly increased the probability of separation problems developing. Because for a dog, being ignored is a punishment. When you ignore them, the two ends of your absence get linked. You walk out and they panic. You walk back in and, instead of relief, they face coldness, so they panic again for different reasons. The whole day becomes an endless loop of anticipatory stress. Now, you might be thinking, but wait, when I ignore my dog, they eventually quiet down and sit on their bed after 10 minutes, my training is working. This is the darkest part of animal psychology. They haven't settled. In the 1960s, Martin Seligman at the University of Pennsylvania ran foundational experiments discovering a concept called learned helplessness. Passivity isn't something animals learn as a trick. Passivity is the brain's default state when it is under prolonged, inescapable stress. A dog that stops barking after being ignored hasn't accepted the situation gracefully. It has simply stopped believing that its behavior matters. It has learned that its distress, its joy, and its desperation mean nothing to you. We often assume a quiet dog is a calm dog, but sometimes a dog that seems fine might be the dog you need to worry about the most. Their stress system has been running for so long that it has simply started to burn out. So, what should you do when you walk through that door? Throw the old rules away. When you come home, kneel down, use their name, touch them, let your voice carry actual warmth. You are not rewarding bad behavior, you are not spoiling them. You are taking two separate nervous systems across two different species and you are synchronizing them. You are providing the physical and verbal feedback their biology desperately needs to know that their world is safe again. Praise and connection register in a dog's brain as a primary reward. It accumulates.